Imagine a beauty so absolute, it demands a horrific, unspeakable price. Deep within the hidden histories of the Red Keep, there are rumors of a woman who bathed in human blood to maintain her youth. Her name was Shiera Seastar. She was a great bastard of House Targaryen, a daughter of the gluttonous King Aegon IV. If you consult the Citadel archives, most historians document the Blackfyre Rebellion as a standard war of succession. Scholars point to a contested deathbed decree and a dispute over who deserved to wield a legendary Valyrian steel sword as the primary triggers for the conflict. But those scholars are looking at the wrong evidence. The war that tore the Seven Kingdoms apart began in the shadows of a lover's bed. 3 siblings engaged in a toxic, obsessive love triangle that eventually left tens of thousands dead. We tend to look at high-minded principles to explain grand conflicts, but those banners often mask far more private, destructive obsessions. King Aegon IV's final, spiteful act was to legitimize all his illegitimate children. He placed them directly into the royal succession hierarchy, setting a trap for the realm. One of these newly minted royals was Brynden Rivers, forever known to history as Bloodraven. He was an albino, possessing bone-white skin, a single red eye, and a birthmark shaped remarkably like a raven. He commanded a terrifying spy network and was feared as a master of shadows and sorcery. His half-brother, Aegor Bittersteel Rivers, operated with the opposite methodology. Bittersteel had no patience for whispers. He was a relentlessly disciplined warrior whose currency was iron, blood, and martial supremacy. Looking at this Targaryen family tree, these 2 men were destined to collide, both obsessed over the exact same half-sister. Shiera Seastar occupied the center of this rivalry, becoming the focal point for a royal court drowning in ambition. Concentrating immense royal power and 2 aggressive, contrasting personalities onto one woman guaranteed a disaster the Seven Kingdoms couldn't contain. Shiera made her choice. She rejected the warrior and gave herself to the sorcerer, Bloodraven. Bittersteel was consumed by rejection, but he faced a strategic problem. Bloodraven was too well protected and too deeply entrenched in the legitimate court of King Daeron II to be assassinated. Unable to kill his rival directly, Bittersteel changed his strategy. To reach the man who held Shiera, he decided to dismantle the monarchy. He relentlessly whispered treason into the ear of another half-brother, Daemon Blackfyre. Bittersteel weaponized the warrior's pride, convincing him he was the true heir and that the realm was begging for his leadership. This map shows the result of that manipulation, fracturing the continent into 2 warring factions. The Red Dragon fought for King Daeron, and the Black Dragon fought for Daemon. Bittersteel took his shattered heart and forged it into a global war. A toxic rejection between 2 men was systematically rebuilt into an ideological crisis that split an entire kingdom. Bloodraven deployed his own brutal countermeasures. He used his spy network to hunt down sympathizers, transforming King's Landing into a paranoid, traumatized state where people believed he had 1,000 eyes and one. The conflict rapidly moved past the point of political discourse. Treason was no longer a debate. It was a matter of military survival. The bastards rallied their armies, finally converging to settle the score at a place history remembers as the Red Grass Field. On the ground, Daemon Blackfyre fought with terrifying skill. Armed with the Conqueror's blade, he cut through the royal vanguard and stood mere moments away from taking the Iron Throne. But Daemon's honorable frontline combat stood in contrast to Bloodraven's ruthless ambush tactics. Up on the Weeping Ridge, the sorcerer and his personal archers, the Raven's Teeth, were waiting. When a god of the battlefield meets a master of the shadows, who strikes the first fatal blow? This reveals the reality of Westerosi politics. Thousands of soldiers bleed in the mud for honor and justice, while their deaths settle a private score between brothers who couldn't share the same woman.